Hello everybody, welcome once again to Munching Miles. I know it's been a while since we actually shot some videos and uploaded anything, but just to be honest with you all, I was focusing a little bit more on other priorities, so that's the reason why I couldn't make too many videos for you all. I'm really sorry for that, and I really appreciate the people who actually supported me during this period of time, the pandemic, who have supported seeing whatever videos I uploaded. I really appreciate even your feedback, your comments, whatever you've given me all this while. That really helps me, kind of make this a better video for you all, or make every video and improve everything that I do every time I upload a video. So thanks a lot for that. Moving on to something really special today. That the reason why I'm shooting today is my brother wanted to buy a new bike. So we kind of were speculating which bike to take and stuff like that. So we narrowed down a few choices that we had. We went from X-Pulse to the NS200, then we stuck to the Duke 200. But finally we had to go with something which is much more feasible, and of course feasible in a sense. When I say feasible, what about everything? Putting everything into perspective over here, the Duke 200 was the perfect choice to actually go ahead and to pick up, to do everything for a first time person who's buying his own bike. But then again, we were looking at the price factor and everything. Now taking everything into consideration, definitely Duke 200 was a better option for us. So we again thought about it. We went ahead, reevaluated, took a few test rides more, and then we stuck to something which really impressed all of us in the quad liter segment. So we went on to the Duke 250, which was definitely one of the best buys in the quad liter segment. Yes, you all will say the price is definitely higher than the other quad liters we have out there. I personally own an FZ 250, so I know the price factor is much higher than what we actually paid for the FZ 250. But putting performance and price, you will not get everything in a package in that price segment of the FZ 25. So hence we moved on to the Duke 250, and let me show you guys what we actually bought. And this is the bike that we're talking about. So this is a BS6 version of the Duke 250, and basically everything kind of changed. If you come up from the front, so starting from the front, let's check the front. This headlight structure that we're seeing right now, we didn't have it in the Duke 250 at least. They used to come with a yellow frame in the BS4 version, as in the headlights were yellow. Moving on to the BS6 version, they've adopted this from the Duke 390 and they brought it over here with daytime running lights. You can see they have daytime running lights. It's very bright outside, so maybe you would not be able to understand, but yeah, pretty much you get the idea. That was the first change that I noticed initially for the Duke 250, which was definitely a great thing that they brought up in the BS6 version. Let's move on. The sitting posture, the riding posture, everything remains same like the Duke 250 earlier BS4 version to the BS6. Nothing much has changed. I'm a person who's 6 feet, and for me this bike is very comfortable when I'm sitting and riding. Alright, so we were talking about the seating posture. I told you as I'm a 6 feet guy and I can flat foot. So a person who is really tall will definitely be able to sit on this comfortably and ride it. The posture rather is very aggressive when it comes to sitting on the bike and riding it. It's very aggressive versus many other bikes that we have. The foot pegs are set up in such a way that it's easy to go on long rides. Okay, and definitely with the 6-speed gearbox, it will have a good impact on the ride and everything. So that being said, let's move on to the rear end. So pretty much everything remains the same on the bike from the rear end perspective. Everything stays whatever they had in the BS4 version. But if you look at this is a very essential thing that they have, is the exhaust sticking out, unlike the other BS, or rather the Duke 200, because that has an underbelly exhaust. The only problem with that is you have to be very cautious when the underbelly exhaust is there, is because of the fact that you can bang you can bang the exhaust when you're crossing or overtaking a speed breaker. Yeah. What else? Maybe you can come once again to the front and we can show them a few interesting things that have changed. Yeah. So as you notice, this indeed is the 390 disc plates that have been adopted from there. There's a 320 disc plates that have been taken from the Duke 390 and have been put on this. The good thing is this come now with a dual channel ABS, alright, on the BS6, and yeah, so that definitely will add a lot of mileage when it comes to maneuvering and everything. I would say the braking capacity, everything changes, the whole dynamic of a 250cc in this particular segment. Now when I say it's a dual channel, of course it's a switchable dual channel. You may ask, what's the switchableness? Let me show you guys this. So let's just move to the instrument cluster probably, and from there we can take it. So this is the instrument cluster, as you all can see. So this talks about the fuel, this talks about the rev, the total RPM that you have reached, simple ABS, on off, and this goes neutral. Then we have the this is probably the light indicators, high beam, low beam. This is the ABS, and this is the, I think the side stand that is down, or like a warning sign over here, right? Now there are certain modes, as you can see over here. There's something called mode and a set. All right, when you click right now, the side stand is on, so it's showing this. So I'm just going to click once, actual FC, which is basically the mileage what we're talking about. Time trip, this is the total trip that I have time. This is the interesting part of it. So this says right now road. This comes with something called supermoto mode. Okay, so how do I switch that? I keep this, I press and hold, and it says keep pressed. Now this is going to change to supermoto, which means now my rear end ABS is switched off. I would not be able to use my rear end ABS, which means now I'm in control of the rear end or the rear tire of the bike. Okay, how do I switch it back from this supermoto mode back to the dual channel ABS mode? All I have to do is just once again press the mode and take it back to the supermoto mode. Once again press and hold. Now it switches back to road. It is as simple as that. It is as simple as that. So being a switchable ABS, I think it will definitely add a lot of mileage when it comes to it will give a lot of mileage when it comes to this particular segment of quarter liters, because of the fact that this segment barely has anybody who offers a switchable ABS option, at least for one of the disc brakes, which is the rear end, right? And furthermore, talking about it, we have the heat sensors, which is talking about how heated the thing is, and the fuel meter, the fuel gauge rather. The RPM meter is pretty straightforward. Just going to put it back on and off again so you can see. There goes the rev range. There you go. So pretty straightforward. So you saw the instrument cluster right now. This, as you can see, once again, just showing you once again, this is the turn indicators that are also flashing over here. So you have turn indicators, you have the engine, and then you have the neutral, the RPM rev meter, or the rev, I would say the cap rev, which you would call it, neutral, and then they have the light basically. Then moving on to this segment of it, this is basically the on off, or rather high beam, low beam. And if you may switch this side, this is the pass button that we have. This is the pass button. The horn is here, which is very shabby, as always. All bikes have this very subtle horn. And on this side is the ignition. This is the ignition that we have here, and the kill switch that we normally get for each bike. The kill switch, the ignition, the kill switch and the ignition, sorry. The rearview mirrors are pretty good. So I think what we need to show the people right now, or rather make them hear, is exhaust notes, because that's something everybody wants to hear on the Duke 250. I'm going to switch on the bike right now really quick so that people can hear it. There we go. 3, 2, 1. So as you heard, it's not too bulky sound. It doesn't boast too much of what's inside, what's under the hood. It definitely talks a lot about what this bike is capable of. And yes, it is capable of a lot of things at this point of time. Taking into consideration the quarter liter segment, this is by far, I think, compared to my FZ25, this is one of the best bikes I've ridden so far in the quarter liter segment again. So one thing that I really wished that KTM would have changed on the BS6 version was definitely the instrument cluster. I expected this to come with the TFT version, which they say may come in the 2022 edition. However, I feel that had they put this in the BS6 version, the TFT display like the elder sibling, the Duke 390, this could have made a lot of difference to everybody, because this would have been more aggressive, and in a sense the whole look of the bike would change. And the RC200s now they have at least a black and white display. A similar one, if not like the 390, would have made this a much more desired bike by most of the people. One more good thing about this bike is this bike comes with a slipper clutch, which means on downshift you can actually do without holding the clutch. So definitely that will add a lot of boost when it comes to gear shifting and stuff like that. So thumbs up to KTM on that, because they have really packed this bike with a whole bunch of features which people in the quarter liter segment actually were looking for. So I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please like, share and subscribe to the video, and do keep punching those miles. Cheers and thank you once again, and stay safe guys.